Okay, welcome everyone, James Parker from jamesparkergolf.com, and in this video I'm just going to spend a couple of minutes talking about just the quality of the kind of video you can get now just filming on your mobile device, your iPhone. This was filmed this morning on it's a beautiful day in Dallas. It's getting up to about 85 degrees in Dallas, end of October. And that plays a factor as well, right? I mean, you know, whether you're filming in 30 frames per second or 120 frames per second, as I'm filming with this through my iPhone, you know, if you start sending me a golf swing from a driving range at night, at 10 o'clock at night, which is, you know, is very poorly lit, you know, the lighting isn't very good, then it's still not going to work. You know, as good as the frame rates are, even if you're filming at 240 frames per second, if the lighting isn't very good, it's just not going to work, right? So the lighting has to be good, whether you're filming outside or you're filming at a driving range, or you're sending it me from, you know, you're at home or in your garden or wherever. The lighting still has to be good. So preferably in daylight, and if you can get the V1 app installed on your iPhone or something similar. The V1 app now has the capability of filming in 120 frames per second. Okay, minimum 120 frames per second. So this is huge, and you can see, you know, what's going on here with regards to the golf swing. I mean, yeah, I'm not hitting any balls. I'm kind of practicing a little bit, working on my swing a little bit, you know, working on my transition. But you know, I'm still giving it a pelt down there through impact, and you can see how there's no snail trail, right? I can still see the club head, I can still see the shaft. There's no sort of dragging sensation or blurry sensation. Right, I can see the shaft, I can see the club head, I can see the club face, angles. So I mean, the frame rate makes all the difference. It really does. So if you can send me your swings in 120 frames per second, which is what this is, it's going to make all the difference, guys. Right? There's not going to be any kind of jerky 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And kind of skipping frames, right? You can see how all of this, it's very continuous, it's very smooth, it's flowing. There's no sort of jerky action. It's just smooth. And this is what happens when you start filming in a much higher frame rate. Okay, so little tip there with regards to sending me videos, but also, you know, when you're videoing your swing at the range or the practice area or somewhere, you know, if you can upgrade your V1 app, or just make sure the setting is on 120 frames per second minimum. I think they go up to 240 as well now. So, you know, you've got 220, which is what this is, and then 240, which would be, you know, when you slow it down in slow motion, I mean, you know, the detail would just be so much better. So let's talk a little bit about what's going on in the swing. So what I'm trying to do here. So, you know, as I said previously, we're not trying to. I'm not hitting any balls. You know, I'm just standing there with a tee in front of me. Right, this tee is so important. If you've got a couple of sticks or rods, get them down. Practice with them. This is huge. This is really going to help you with regards to understanding the geometry of your swing more than anything. Alright, so yes, we want our toes, knees, hips, forearms, shoulders parallel with our target line, right, which is this line. But understand, when we're taking the club away, I want your hands moving inwards. Okay, I want your hands moving slightly inwards of your toes. So from your perspective, there, right, you're gonna feel a dragging sensation inward. Okay, that then moves your arms, your left arm underneath your left shoulder rather than kind of over it, or even a lot of people outside of it, right? When people send me their golf swing, the left arm's out in this position, well, all you're going to do is you're just going to flip the club head behind, right? And that's not the sensation. Okay, so hands move inward, all right, keeping the connection underneath your left arm, underneath your right arm. Also, from there, if we're just swinging our hands inward, right, you can see how the club head stays outside the hands a little bit. Okay, from your perspective, from this down the line, this down the line angle, what you're looking for here is your club head still slightly outside your hands. That's going to make the shaft a little steeper going back. This is fine, because when we get up to the top, what we're going to feel is we're going to feel the club head dropping. Alright, we're going to feel that. We need that for our lag pressure. Okay, so what is lag pressure? Well, when you watch all the pros, they get up here, and so let's kind of say, well, that's the angle with my wrist hinge going back. So I've cocked my left wrist up that much. And another quick point with regards to cocking your wrist, right? Cocking your wrist is achieved by the bending of your right arm, all right? The more your right arm bends, right, so you can see there how it's still pretty straight, which means there isn't much cocking of the wrist yet, but the more my right arm folds here, the more the club is going to be cocked in your left wrist. More right arm bend, more wrist cock, more right arm bend, more wrist cock, right? So you can see in this position, I've got it to about 90 degrees. But when we get to the top, if we can feel that club head laid down this way, right, we'll look at it from this way first. I've overdone it because I like to exaggerate things to show you. Right, you can see how now, well, if the weight and the mass of the club is coming down this way, then that shallows the shaft out, but also you're going to build up a lot of pressure in the first pad of your trigger finger right there. Okay, right about here. And you can see how when I do that, look at the difference in the lag coming down. So that was the lag, that was the angle going back. Well, now my angle, do it in red. Right, now my lag is this, right? So that's the essence of lag. Now obviously your body has to lead your arms, right? Your arms have to lead your hands are attached to the tool, right? So yes, your body has to go first, but that's really the essence of lag, right? And lag is the secret, because lag is going to produce the correct impact position, right? We need the correct impact position being hands forward, shaft forward, weight forward, right? So coming down into impact, we want to try and feel this through the shot, which is why I highly recommend everyone practice the flying wedge drill, where you still maintain this angle between your right arm and the shaft, right? Just as a drill, just as an exercise, because in the actual swings, when the club head's moving fast, the club head's going to be obviously out racing your hands. Okay, so that's really important. But you can see how going back, from dragging my hands inside, shaft's a little steeper, coming down, feel that lag pressure, let that club head drop. You want to feel as though the butt end of the club is now coming this way, right, not straight down. Right, and then the reason why I'm practicing this is that's kind of one of my faults in my swing. When I get onto the course, it just gets a little snatchy there at the top. So, I'm making sure I'm feeling the club get back down on plane. Now, obviously, I'm overdoing it. The plane's very flat, right? But when you get up to the top, a lot of people do this. This is one of my faults when you get up to the top and you don't gather the club head like that. Right, and you just get a little snatchy from there, then the butt end of the club comes down this way, right? Instead of the club head dropping down, the butt end of the club coming down this way, and then obviously the shaft shallowing out, right? But this also puts your arms in the right position. You're really driving that right arm and that right forearm down correctly. Okay. So few little pointers there, guys, but main thing to think about is generating the lag. One of Homer Kelly's big sayings: sustain the lag. Okay, and you can never have too much of a good thing. Lag is essential, right? Lag produces the correct impact position. Shaft forward, hands forward, weight forward. Okay, so lag is really the secret, right? So how do we achieve lag? Well, you have to feel it and generate it in your hands, right? Yes, the body leads, right? But you have to educate your hands to feel it in the first place, right? Allow that plummet to drop and the shaft to shallow out, right? Sustain the lag, achieve the correct impact position, and you start compressing the ball. Alright guys, any questions or comments, please leave them below, whether you're watching this on YouTube or you're watching this on my blog at jamesparkergolf.com, and I'll get to them when I can. Cheers.